Sriwijaya Air Flight 182 was a scheduled domestic passenger flight from Jakarta to Pontianak, Indonesia, on 9 January 2021. The Boeing 737-524 flying the route with 62 people on board crashed into the Java Sea off the Thousand Islands, 5 minutes after departing from Soekarno-Hatta International Airport. The flight data recorder was recovered on 12 January. Whereas the cockpit voice recorder has not been found. A search of the area recovered wreckage, human remains, and items of clothing, but no survivors. On 21 January, the search for survivors was halted and all are presumed dead. Prior to Flight 182, the aircraft arrived at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport in Tangerang, Banten at 12:11 p.m. from Pangkal Pinang Depti Amir Airport. The aircraft was scheduled to take off at 13:25 WIB. The flight took off amid heavy monsoon rain, following a bad weather delay. Due to the significant delay, it was expected to land in Pontianak at 15:50 WIB. Flight 182 was climbing to 13,000 feet to 7,650 feet at 7 hours 40 minutes and 27 seconds Coordinated Universal Time. According to provided flight data, the airplane experienced a drop of 1,755 feet in 4 seconds and 5,150 feet from Soekarno-Hatta International Airport. According to the ATC, there was no distress call during the flight. Indonesian transport officials also stated that the aircraft failed to follow ATC instructions. The aircraft involved was a Boeing 737-524. Registered as PKCLC, it was equipped with two CFMI CFM56-3B1 engines. At the time of the accident, the aircraft had accumulated 62,983 hours and 40,383 cycles. The aircraft was manufactured in 1994 and had its maiden flight on 13 May 1994. It was first delivered to Continental Airlines on 31 May 1994 under the registration N27610. The aircraft was transferred to United Airlines in 2010 after Continental and United merged. On 15 May 2012, the aircraft was sold to Sriwijaya Air. It was the first of a total of 15 737-500s received by Sriwijaya Air in 2012 to replace their 737-200s. Sriwijaya Air named the aircraft Chitra between 23 March and 23 October 2020. The aircraft was stored at Sriwijaya Juanda International Airport for repair. The Ministry of Transportation stated that it inspected the aircraft on 14 December 2020 and issued a new certificate of airworthiness on 17 December 2020. It resumed service on 19 December 2020. There were 62 people on board, of which 50 were revenue passengers. Of the remaining 12 crew members, 6 were operating crew on the flight, while the other 6 were deadheading as passengers. The majority of the passengers were residents from West Kalimantan. Among the passengers was Mulyadi Tamzia, a politician from the People's Conscience Party. The active crew consisted of Captain Afwan, First Officer Diego Mamahit and 4 flight attendants. Afwan was a former pilot in the Indonesian Air Force. The 6 deadheading crew and several revenue passengers had transferred to Flight 182 from an earlier NAM Air flight that did not operate. The Associated Press, BBC News, HuffPost, The New York Times, The Wall Street Journal, and other media have reported that all people on board had been killed. At least 58 victims, including the captain, have been identified by the police. The first report of the crash was made at 14:30 WIB, in which a fisherman said that an aircraft had crashed and exploded in the sea. The head of the Indonesian National Search and Rescue Agency reported that the crash site was located 11 nmi from Soekarno-Hatta International Airport. Personnel from a vessel provided by the Ministry of Transportation reported that body parts, fragments of clothing, electronics, personal belongings and wreckage had been recovered from the sea in waters near the Thousand Islands, with aviation fuel also reported around the location. The water near the crash site has a depth of around 15 to 16 meters. BASARNAS immediately deployed personnel to the crash site, while the Indonesian National Police and the Ministry of Transportation set up crisis centers in port of Tanjung Priok and Soekarno-Hatta International Airport. The Indonesian Navy deployed a number of vessels for the search and rescue operations. In addition to helicopters and KOPASKA personnel, the Indonesian government requested assistance from the South Korean government with the search. Through the Korea-Indonesia Marine Technology Cooperation Research Center, the South Korean Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries deployed a research vessel equipped with a detector to Indonesia. At least 15 personnel from MTCRC were also sent. The Singaporean government also offered to provide assistance in the search, which the Indonesian government later accepted. On the 10th of January, the Indonesian Navy announced that the exact coordinates of the crash site had been pinpointed. Rescuers managed to recover a life vest, pieces from the aircraft's fuselage, and a destroyed wheel rim of the Boeing 737. Most of the wreckage was found at a depth of 17 to 23 meters. On the night of the 9th of January, an